I'm William Haas, and let's clear up the USA view. HRC warns LGBTQ plus Americans are disappearing under Trump, unveils a plan to fight back. As President Donald Trump begins his second term, the Human Rights Campaign says queer Americans are retreating from public life. And it's time to push back. Speaking in Washington, D.C., HRC President Kelley Robinson said fear is shaping our daily lives. Parents hide who they are at their children's schools. Workers shrink themselves to keep their jobs. And couples think twice before holding hands on the street. Robinson said, quote, "These are harrowing times. The emergency that we warned about is no longer a warning. It is the reality that we are living inside," end quote. HRC released 2 reports outlining both damage and a strategy for resistance. Nearly half of the LGBTQ plus adults say they are less out now than a year ago. More than half said they are less visible. 2/3 transgender and non-binary people report difficulty accessing health care. Robinson's accused administration nationalized culture war policies that weaken civil rights and public health protections. HRC new playbook urges candidates to go on the offense, reject fear-based messaging, and lead with shared values. After the event, Robinson had a message for the LGBTQ plus people, pulling back from public life, quote, "You are enough. Every day that you show up being exactly who you are is as much resistance as you've got to have." This is a shame that, we're in 2026 and we're still fighting for basically equal rights again, all over again. And people should not live in fear in our country. People should want to come here and you should feel safe. There should be a country where people just, they're free to be you and me.
Right. And the intimidation is intentional. And of course, you've got to be safe. But for those who feel like they can risk it or that they have to risk it, being out, being who you are, celebrating who you are, that's our biggest weapon, because what they want is to erase us. Yeah. And so if all we can do is not be erased, that's something. And so, we're here. They're not getting rid of us, and we need not let them delude themselves into thinking they're getting rid of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want us to think twice before we step out of our homes and be visible. They want us to fear our neighbors. And right. I think a revolutionary act in these times is to be unafraid.
Exactly.
So if we could just be unafraid, even if that's just affirming to ourselves that we are, as you say, Pastor, created in God's image. Mm-hmm. I am created in God's image. I'm going to step out of this house and I'm going to do everything that I can to keep myself safe, but also know that, maybe there's somebody upstairs watching. So hopefully that's the case.
It's always good to be safe and cautious, but you have places like, the church in Dallas and Sunshine Cathedral where mm-hmm. you could be yourself, enjoy shows with people of like minds. Yeah. And that's important.
Find safe places for sure where you can be all of you and celebrate and places that do celebrate you. And there's so many places in Fort Lauderdale. We've got the bars, we've got the political organizations, the sports organizations, and the religious organizations, and the arts organizations. It's a great place to be, but super needed right now so that you can just breathe and feel safe living your life. I'm certainly older than you. I'm probably 5 years one side or the other of you. P.S. I've been along. I remember I lived in states, Arkansas and Texas, during sodomy laws, where my every date, from Arkansas, every date was an offense against the law. Mm-hmm. I was breaking the sodomy law. Don't want to brag, but every day. Okay, not every day, but most
really.
Days. And but so I remember that. I remember the fight for marriage equality, and I remember those days. I went to seminary in New York. I remember those days when at Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral, when the priest would elevate the host and people in the congregation would throw up condoms. Simple protest, but to be seen and heard, because the government wouldn't even say the word AIDS for 7 years while people are dying. So, it feels like I've been through all this before, and I'm just too old and have faced too much. I risk it the first time around. I'm not going back now, although there are a lot of people in nursing homes, assisted living, that they're feeling like they have to because they're afraid they won't get proper care.
Mm-hmm. And that is such a shame. You make it to your golden years and you can't even have the dignity and respect that you're entitled to.
Right.
It's heartbreaking. It really is.
Did you see, he looked at me straight on when he said golden years? Did you see how he did that? He just looked right in my face with golden years.
He looked right past me, so I'm good. He looked right past me, so.
I look right past
I like you.
No, it's a serious time out there. And if you can be out even to just a few people, it's going to save your sanity. And we need you sane for when all this is over. We need to be in the cleanup crew to clean it up and build it back up.
And I do believe it will be over one day.
Yes.
I really think we as Americans, our government might not be exactly where we want it to be, but I think as a people we are moving in a positive direction, even though it doesn't always seem that way from national policy.
Exactly.
You know, and if this is, you know, when it comes time to vote, make sure you get out there and vote because, you know, just don't take it for granted.
Please vote.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.